I'm Nyna Matysiak, and I'm the owner, founder of Optimism here in Taos, New Mexico. Optimism is a metaphysical bookstore and gift shop. I offer typical metaphysical items, and I also offer items that are made either by small local businesses or women-owned or family-owned out in the greater world. I do focus on unusual products that are still in the metaphysical genre. I love to read and I love books, and they come in this really magical way. Like either someone will just come by and bring a box of really esoteric occult books that are really hard to find. These books just find their way into the store. It's like I don't have anything to do with it even. They just show up here, and I have the general New Age metaphysical books and health books, but I have this sort of genre of occult books and magic books. It's really fun to see how they show up. I also love oils and herbs and candles and resins. It's fun to share that with people, and I know the most about that. I had a soap company once. I have the understanding of the alchemy of the soaps and the herbs and the oils. I moved to Taos 10 years ago, and before that I owned a metaphysical store in Ukiah, California. And when I sold that business, which is still open and thriving, I didn't think I'd ever do another metaphysical store because retail can be such an interesting challenge. And when we moved to Taos, we weren't thinking of doing retail. We were going to do a sustainable living project, but I needed to find employment. So for 5 years, I worked for other businesses, and then the metaphysical store that was in Taos closed, and nobody stepped up and took over that market. And I knew that I could run a New Age metaphysical store because I'd done that before very successfully. Actually, a person came to me who owns a huge jewelry making company on the East Coast, and he asked if I would be a manager of a metaphysical store, and he would supply everything to me. And it was like totally spirit said, you need to be doing this. I went out to Delaware and picked up a U-Haul full of products, display pieces, products, and opened a store as the manager. But then within 5 months, he pulled out, and I kept it open because I realized that is what I love to do. And it's grown and changed and moved and become what it is today, 6 years later. My husband and I and our children were living in California in Mendocino County, and I thought we would probably stay there forever because it had so many of the wonderful things that I enjoy. But he was committed to moving away from California. So we looked and looked. We did a lot of traveling, a couple summers. We went up to Alaska and spent 2 months in Alaska, and we did all the Rocky Mountain states. When we came to Taos, we had criteria. It had to have a natural food store. It had to have a Waldorf school. It had to be liberal-minded, progressive. It had to be diverse, and those were kind of the main things. And we didn't really want a big city. We wanted something with a smaller population that would feel more community-based, and then we had to be able to afford the land. And Taos won. It was between Taos and Sitka, Alaska, and it took me 4 times coming here. And finally, we went back to California, and my husband felt for sure that this is where he wanted to live, and I still didn't quite see it. And so I went back to California, and I picked up a magazine, and it was a spiritual magazine. And in there was a women's conference, and it was going to be in Taos. And so I told my husband, if I go to Taos by myself, then I'll know. And it was amazing, and I met all these people that are spiritual and goddess-oriented, and I was here for a week, and I really saw that I could live in Taos, that it would work here for me. The uniqueness of Taos to me is the people, the accepting nature of the people here, the diverse cultures. The Pueblo Indians are, they're the original people here, and they've lived here for about 1,500 years or more in close to the mountain. And I think that energy of them permeates the community. And then the Hispanic people, that interaction with the Anglos that live here, the acceptance of people for who they are, is really strong here. Also because a lot of people feel that the Taos Mountain either calls you here or kicks you out. I do believe that a lot of people, and I'm one of them, believe that we're here to work on really deep issues in our life. And if you meet that, you really do enjoy Taos very much. If you fight it, it can be a challenge to live here. So if you come to Taos and you think you're going to change it, that's probably not going to work for you. I've seen the most successful people be that will come here and just stay for a year or two knowing that they're going to learn about Taos and what Taos needs. Where if you come thinking that you're going to change it, your brand of whatever it is going to be the only way. If you come with an ego, it will be very difficult. Taos is a great place to live. The weather is really amazing because it's very challenging because of the four seasons, and the elements here are very strong. You know, the wind, the water, the air, everything is really strong here, and I feel like you have to almost be a pioneer to make it in a really good way here. If you're interested in learning more about optimism or just coming by to say hi, I'm on Kit Carson Road at 129 Kit Carson, Suite E. I actually have a website, www.optimysm.com. Thank you.